Welcome to Know Your Universe. Today we're going to continue our discussion about the Green Lantern mythos. Last time we covered the cores themselves and what each of them can do, but that's not the end of the Green Lantern lore when it comes to the emotional spectrum. Behind each and every one of the cores is an entity. Now the entities are the very embodiment of each one of these emotions, and no one even knew of their existence until recently. So without wasting any more time, I'm going to go through each of the entities and explain who and what they are. Now we're going to start with the Red Core. If you remember correctly, the Red Lanterns are based around the emotion of rage. So their entity is the Butcher, the embodiment of rage. His appearance looks like that of a dynamic bull, and he was supposedly born in the DC Universe after the first murder happened. At first, the head of the Red Lantern Corps' Atrocitus wasn't even aware of the Butcher's existence until he sensed a great rage inside of Spectre. But when Spectre turned down his offer to join the Red Lantern Corps, because as Spectre said, his rage is God's rage, he did state that he had met the Beast of Rage before. So a little bit later, Atrocitus, with the help of Spectre, trapped the Butcher in his red power battery to be the embodiment of the Red Lantern Corps. Now the Orange Lanterns are the core based around greed, and their entity is Ohrid. This one looks like a giant serpent with an Orange Lantern symbol on its head, and this one was created when the first animal ate something that it did not need. This entity has actually been captured and kept in the Orange power battery by Larfreeze. And anytime someone holds the battery, they can hear him speaking to them. The Yellow Core is the core of fear, and their entity is Parallax. Parallax looks like a giant insect with the yellow core symbol on its mouth. It was born at the dawn of sentient life itself, and is basically the embodiment of living fear. It creates fear and paranoia in any civilization that it comes across, and because of this, it threatens to trap the entire universe in a vicious cycle of fear and violence. To prevent this from happening, the Guardians of Oa actually trapped Parallax inside of the green power battery, creating the yellow impurity in the original Green Lantern rings. But eventually, it possessed Hal Jordan and forced him to kill most of the Green Lantern Corps and all of his friends. At the end of the Green Lantern Rebirth book, Hal and his friends once again trapped Parallax inside of the green power battery. Now the Green Lantern Corps is surrounding the emotion of willpower, and their entity is Ion. Ion has the appearance of a large whale, and was created when life first could move on its own accord. Now Ion also possesses its hosts, but unlike Parallax, it doesn't take control of its hosts. It provides its host with a large amount of power in return for receiving a large amount of willpower from the host. It has actually bonded with Kyle Rayner and Sodom Yat in the past, and when it was bonded with Sodom Yat, it was in an attempt to make an ultimate weapon against Superboy Prime. Now Adora is the entity for hope, which is the emotion of the Blue Lantern Corps. She is bird-like in appearance and has a Blue Lantern Corps insignia on her chest. She has also been described as being born when the first sentient life form committed the first act of prayer. Proselyte was the embodiment of compassion, and it's connected to the Indigo Light. When asked where she came from, it is simply stated, "Rage grows murder, hope from prayer, and compassion is offered to all." It looks like a cephalopod with about 4 appendages, so kind of like a jellyfish. And lastly, and I do get a kick out of this one myself, the embodiment of love and the violet light is the Predator. This thing looks like an alien creature and has been created out of Carol Ferris's love for Hal Jordan. When she was falling in despair over their relationship, the Predator was born, and it was filled with Ferris's ideal qualities for a man. Now the Black and White Corps are a bit different. For the Black Lanterns, there is Necron, the embodiment of death, but he needed Blackhand to be his first Black Lantern and his link to the living world in order for him to spread his Black Lantern rings all over the universe. The White Light is powered by a being simply known as the Entity, and that's all we really know about it. Right now, Kyle Rayner's trying to explore the whole entire Entity and White Lantern Corps thing. Now, during the War of the Green Lanterns, one of the oldest Guardians stepped forward and captured all of the entities. And we discovered at this point that Kronos was apparently the Keeper, and therefore immune to all the powers of the emotional spectrum. Once Kronos was defeated by Hal Jordan and the rest of the Green Lanterns, all of the entities were set free into the universe once again. And no one knows their exact whereabouts anymore. Well, except for Parallax. Sinestro has him trapped once again inside of the yellow power battery this time. And that's about it for each of the entities in the Green Lantern mythos. I am going to cover with a complete story the War of the Green Lanterns, where we really learn more and more about the entities, and very soon we're going to be covering Blackest Night, where most of them were first discovered. So I'm hoping to explain really soon kind of more where they got started, but we don't know that much information about them because it's something that Jeff Johns introduced into the Green Lantern mythos, and then they just kind of vanished for a little while. So what do you think of all of these? Do you like them all being various animals and insects? And do you think that this can be something that they should expand upon in the newer books? Or should we kind of tuck this away and never let it come out again? Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time right here at Comicstorian.